John Adams rightly said that revolution was effected before the war commenced. The revolution was in the minds and hearts of the people. This radical change in the principles, opinions, sentiments, and affections of the people was the real American Revolution. In the Road to Revolution unit, students will learn about the birth of the revolutionary spirit that formed the nation they call home. They will be able to identify and describe key figures and events in the years leading up to the American Revolution, as well as be able to explain how the political, economic, and religious factors of the time period played a part in bringing about the American Revolution. And what better way to learn about the events leading up to the Revolution than to actually explore and experience it? The Road to Revolution is a project-based unit where students are actively discovering and creating. Over a 6.5-week time period, students will complete 5 themed projects using over 25 different iPad and laptop technologies, websites, and applications. Each project will guide the students through the 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy, encouraging them to go beyond the surface-level understanding and really engage in the pre-revolutionary material. To give you an idea of what the students will be learning, let's take a quick look at the projects. Project 1 requires students to work in groups in order to give a report and make a poster about the British Acts. Each group will be assigned the task of becoming an expert on one of the 6 chosen British Acts. They will research their act, create a graphic organizer with important facts on their iPad using inspiration maps, and then report and film what they have learned. While each group films, students will also write a blog entry about the 2 perspectives on the taxes, British versus colonial. Finally, students will take what they have learned in order to create and present an interactive poster on Glogster. The poster will include their oral report, film, and powerful images. Project 2 asks the students to take sides as they write an opinion paper on the Boston Massacre. The students will be introduced to the drastically different British and colonial perspectives through a YouTube video clip. They will journal their thoughts in response to the video's questions in another blog entry. Students will then further investigate the incident, recording their discovered information in a Venn diagram using the Graphiolite iPad app. Finally, the students will decide who they believe to be responsible for the Boston Massacre, the British or the colonists. They will organize their research and write an opinion paper stating and proving their argument. Project 3 allows students to reenact the Boston Tea Party in order to experience it. After learning about the event and reading The Boston Tea Party by Russell Friedman, students will use the Timeline Builder app to create a timeline of the event. They will then dramatize and film the events of this timeline. For each of the main characters the students choose to portray, they will have also written and acted out meaningful dialogue. Next, the students will ponder the emotion of the night and compose a victory chant that the Sons of Liberty might have sang on that very night. They will record this chant on the FlexiVoice iPad app. Finally, the students will add choreography to their chant and integrate it into their original skit in order to create their final production of the Boston Tea Party. Project 4 encourages students to really understand the purpose of the Sons of Liberty group as they design a website intended to recruit new members. First, based on what they have learned, students will work in groups of 4 or 5 to film themselves acting out their interpretation of the Sons of Liberty meeting. They will then, using the Voice Record Pro iPad app, create and record a short, catchy slogan or jingle that both sums up the group's purpose and would encourage new members to join. Then the students will write and record a promotional script that describes key qualities of the Sons of Liberty members as well as the benefits of group membership. The skit, jingle, and promotional script will then be combined in an iMovie commercial or movie trailer designed to advertise for new members while showcasing the students' understanding of the purpose of the Sons of Liberty group. The completed clip will then become a central feature in a student-created website in which students advertise for new members of the Sons of Liberty group using images and other research. For the 5th and final project, students will be comparing the American spirit and Ralph Waldo Emerson's A Nation's Strength to that of the colonial people in the pre-revolutionary years. First, they will look back on all they have learned and make a timeline of all the information. The students will then work in groups of 3 to dramatize and film their timeline sequence. As they review the events, students will focus on the emotion and spirit of the colonists in order to write a blog entry connecting Emerson's poem with the events on the timeline. The students will then be given a choice of creating a collage using the Collage iPad app and Google Images, or working with music either to compose a song on Songify or compile a playlist on Spotify. Regardless of the medium chosen, students will choose pictures or lyrics representative of the drive for freedom they see in the colonists and in the poem. Their final work will be uploaded to their blog, and students will write a 500-word piece on how their art or music choices portray the attitude of the American people as seen in Emerson's poem. Each of these projects will help students truly learn the content as well as meet important 5th grade standards. Common Core informational text reading standards are addressed through research and writing. Writing standards are present as students write both informational and opinion pieces. Speaking and listening standards are integrated through oral reports and group discussions. California History Social Science standards are embedded within the unit content, and technology standards are at work in the technologies used and the way they are managed. Key standards will include collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. Not only are each of the projects rich with content and creativity, all were designed to reach all of Howard Gardner's different multiple intelligences. Logical learners will benefit in activities where they must extract information and formulate arguments, such as in Project 2, the Boston Massacre Project. Visual learners will experience the content through poster and collage creation, as seen in Projects 1 and 5 respectively. Verbal learners will find the blog entries and Boston Massacre opinion paper enjoyable, as well as excel in the British Acts oral report. Musical learners will have numerous opportunities to compose chants or jingles, as in Projects 2 and 3, and may even compose a song in Project 5. Naturalists will see how all of the pieces fit together when they order timelines in Projects 3 and 5. They will also learn through the compare and contrast exercise in Project 2. Kinesthetic learners will have a hands-on approach through the dramatizations seen in Projects 3, 4, and 5. Interpersonal students will have many opportunities to shine in this unit, as group work is evident in almost every project. Finally, intrapersonal learners will find reflection and blogging to be useful learning tools where they connect with what they are studying. Now to take a few moments to reflect as an educator. My goal as a teacher is to help my students achieve success, and I don't just mean scoring higher on their tests. I want my students to leave my classroom with a love of learning and a confidence that they can and should reach for their dreams. Taking this course reminded me that if I want my students to be successful, I have to reach them where they are. One teaching style will not meet all of the different learning needs in my classroom, and my job is to engage and encourage every child, from the kinesthetic to the logical. Technology, when used properly, can enhance my teaching and further engage my students. It's amazing that just one tool or application can be used in a variety of ways to reach a variety of students. When my teaching is focused on the intelligences and the successful incorporation of technology is possible, it becomes easier for students to learn and find success. And that really is the goal.